Scotch night. We have a special Christmas edition going on tonight. We've got a holiday party that we're heading to. We're all dressed up in character-ish, right?
Yeah, you can say that.
And we've got a special Scotch to go with the occasion. So tonight we're doing the Arran Malt Amarone Cask finish. So a little bit about the wine that the Scotch is sitting on. Amarone is a dry red Italian wine. It's extremely tasty. It's extremely concentrated. They take the grapes. Yeah, they take the grapes. They harvest them in October, and they set them out on racks to let them dry. And they let them reduce, get a lot of the water out. So you're talking about not quite raisins, but not grapes anymore. So similar to that, okay? So it concentrates the flavor, and then they crush them. The wine that they get out of this is a deep, dark, rich wine. It's super red, it's super concentrated, and then they age it in oak barrels.
Let's let them finish.
This Scotch is aged in those casks. Amarone is, it's a really good wine, but it's not something that you're going to find on a lot of wine menus. It's something that you got to kind of seek out a little bit. And I was drawn to this when we went on our recon mission a few weeks ago. This was one of the ones I picked out just because I love Amarone wines. It's one of my favorites. So it's unusual to find a Scotch that's doing this.
What's up with the Arran?
So Arran is the youngest distillery in Scotland. They were founded in '95. There's no age statement on this whiskey, so I'm guessing it's a younger whiskey. But that's okay because the Amarone is a pretty bold wine, so the fact that they're letting it sit on those casks is kind of a big deal.
It's also 100 proof.
Yeah, so it's no joke.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can tell already just looking at it. It's
deep.
It's a reddish color. I mean, and you can tell just from it's sitting on those casks that it's picked up some of that.
It smells like
Nice
fruitcake.
bouquet, yeah.
So
Sweet spice, you got
spicy,
a lot of
cinnamon.
berry.
Boy, does it smell sweet
and
for you
unlike
to
a
me.
lot of, you know, there's a lot of Scotches that do a sherry cask finish, a
Almost
port,
figs.
but a port's still a kind of a sweet wine. It's a fortified wine, but it's still sweetish. I've seen some Cabernet Sauvignon cask finishes, but they're already incorporated into other stuff. So this is the first one that I've seen and tried that has a super dark, rich red wine that is going with the Scotch.
Different.
Wow.
I will give it that. I've never tasted that before.
It does. You get that like it is almost like a fruitcake spice in it.
But it's sweet and it's very sweet. I don't know if I'm the only one who can say it, but I almost taste licorice at the end of it.
Yeah. Oh, I kind of do now. The aftertaste.
And I'll be honest, that 100 proof, my tongue's a little numb. Just leaving it sit on it. I mean, it's not hot though. It's not like I'm dying over
It
here.
needs water. Yeah.
But it's got a lot of stuff going on in that glass.
It sure does. Sure does. It's deep.
$74, I think, is what we paid for this.
Yeah, so I mean,
keep
it's
that in mind.
it's not the
Water really helps bring out the
not the cheapest Scotch you're gonna have on your bar.
Yeah.
But it's unique.
Yeah, and Amarone has a lot of different cask finishes. That seems to be something that they're experimenting with quite a bit.
I'll tell you what, it's as soon as it hits my eye, it's bright, and that's the definition. I mean, I know that's not a flavor, but it's sweet and bright.
It's got a lot of that going on, which that's kind of surprising too, because Amarone is a very rich, deep wine. So I'm guessing that the bright flavors are part of the whiskey, but it's a lighter whiskey, and that's what's bringing that out.
I think it comes through.
The water really does tame it.
I think it comes through in the flavor, though. You can taste that wine.
It doesn't taste the alcohol too much, though. It's still pretty hot for me.
I'll tell you one person I want to try this. We had a guest on our show a couple weeks ago, Frank. I really want him to give this a taste because I think this is probably one of the strongest wines that you taste a wine come through in flavor.
Yeah.
You really can tell it's there.
Yeah, he makes his own wine, so he would definitely be into this one.
Yeah. Maybe a good
But
gift one.
it's a hot one. There's no doubt about that.
Tasty.
Which you know, that kind of detracts for me.
It does me too. I can't appreciate the flavor because I'm having to fight that alcohol.
Yeah, it is pretty.
I mean, it's not, and really for 100 proof Scotch. I mean, I don't think we have 100 proof Scotch. So, I mean, I've got 100 proof bourbons on the
Wow.
bar, but for
I
Scotch,
still think it's
kind of
I think it's
unusual.
light though. Still, I mean, honestly, it doesn't hang
it-
around. It kind of evaporates off.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't hit me like some 100 proof bourbons that I've had. I don't get that alcohol burn, but it's still, I think, covering up a lot of the flavors that are underlying.
There's one flavor I can't put my finger on. I don't know what it is yet. Maybe it's going to take half a bottle to figure out.
If it does, you're going to be laying on the floor.
What are you looking at? I don't know. Nice nipple, by the way.
Right? Thanks for noticing.
Nice ring he's got there.
Off that hoe.
Hey, stop.
Let me fluff my hair.
Quiet down, Dickie. Hey,
Let's let him finish.
it's a quality item you got there. Now, let's go around the horn and talk about this. What are you going to give it there?
Well, okay, well, I'll go. I
Cousin
think it's
Eddie.
Cousin Eddie here. Well, let me tell you something, Clark. The reindeer here and I agree that it's actually really good. It's got a nice taste. The alcohol is pretty strong still, even though the water didn't really change it that much.
No.
It's definitely fruity. Figs, raisins to me, cinnamon, a little bit of spice. You mentioned the licorice. I didn't taste it at first, but as soon as you mentioned it, the tail end got me with a little licorice. I think I'll give this. I think I'll give it a 2. It's a good Scotch.
Okay. This is not in my typical area
No.
of expertise.
No, it is not.
It doesn't linger. For me tonight, and maybe it's just tonight, I'm getting only alcohol out of it. I'm not getting a lot of other flavors. The aroma is great. I love that fruitcake smell. I love the fruit in it, the little bit of spice, but I can't get behind the alcohol tonight. So that's just the way I'm tasting tonight.
Put a little-
And I don't know if that's maybe I need to pour more in there to get rid of that.
Well, I mean, it is 100 proof, so I'm thinking
So what'd you
a
give it,
drop or
Aaron?
2 isn't doing it.
What'd you give it?
I give it a 2.
What are you thinking?
I'm giving it a low 1.5.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Because
Alright,
I appreciate there's probably stuff there that I'm not seeing tonight, but tonight for me,
Not hitting it.
yeah.
All right. Well, I really like this. I'm not going to say it lingers. I'm not going to disagree with you and say that it lingers for a long time, but I like the complexity of it's a bright, light feeling when it pours in my mouth, but yet there's a lot of flavor in there to me. There's just, I mean, you can taste that
Yeah.
wine. It's definitely
It's
fruity.
definitely there.
There's something there.
Definitely aroma.
I didn't really get that much burn for 100 proof, to be honest with you, and even less when I put a little water on it, which didn't diminish it. It still carries. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 actually. I actually like this. I'm $75 like it to take me to 3 or anything, but
Yep.
I love the color of it. I think it's a good Scotch. I'm glad you bought it. I'm glad we had a chance to taste it. I want to try a bottle of Amarone, whatever you call it.
Amarone.
Amarone. I want to try some of the wine just to see if they get the flavor of the wine into the Scotch like they're probably attempting to do. But I'll take your word for it there.
I'm probably the only one here that's had an Amarone,
Yeah.
so I can appreciate what they have tried to do. I get the Scotch and I get the flavor of the wine, and it balances very well to me. But I think that they would have done better if it wasn't quite so hot. 100 proof that's going to cover up a lot of flavor, and I think that they're probably doing a disservice to the actual flavor of the whiskey by having it as hot as it is. That being said, I like it. It's bright. I get some of the Amarone, I get some of the whiskey. Having had the wine, I can kind of separate the two and can tell what's coming from the wine and what's coming from the whiskey. And Amarone is such a strong flavored wine
Get the color.
that it's reddish. The actual liquid is reddish from the wine. So they're definitely getting some of the characteristics of that wine out of that barrel. So I'm going to give it, I don't think I can give it a 2.5, but I'm going to give it a solid 2. I may go 2 1/4, but I can't, so I'm going to give it a 2. I think that if it was a little bit,
1.25, but
I think if it was a little bit less hot, if it was in the 45% alcohol range and you could taste a little more of what was going on,
Right.
I think that would bring my rating
I
up a
agree.
little bit because I'm missing out on a lot of the flavors because of the alcohol.
I like the fact that we're kind of all over the board on this. And I like the fact that it separates us a little bit and starts to show you guys out there that, this comes down to palate. Scotch is all about you and what you taste. I don't care what they write on there that you're supposed to taste. What do you taste?
Yeah.
So this is a good review.
so
this is a good bottle.
wrap it up. What do we got?
A 2.
1.5.
2.5.
So we're at 2.
Right at a 2
We're
for
right
the
at
Texas.
Right at a
for
2.
the Arran Malt.
All right. Amarone Cask finish.
Amarone Cask.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Happy
guys.
holidays.
Happy holidays. What are you looking at?